Hello Internet, and welcome to my live reaction for Eden Zero, Chapter 102. When we last left our heroes, we returned to Granbell. Shiki learned the truth about the robot's virus, how it was not a virus, how they were playing the bad guys so that Shiki would leave before they all ran out of ether. And then Ziggy returned, revealing that he's evil now, which is debatably true. But anyway, he's brought the Eden's One with him and wants Pino to join him in his quest to subdue mankind. It's kind of cliche, but we'll see how real it is. That's kind of the thing that I've been seeing brought up, is like, is it real, is it fake? I feel like if it's fake, though, it's a little too much of a repeat of Chapter 1. But anyway, let's jump right into Chapter 102, Time to Say Goodbye. And our picture here is Rebecca in a swimsuit, holding the camera. It's whatever. Anyway, we open right where we left off. Come, Pino. You belong with us. Also, Ziggy tried to get Pino to come with him. What? What are you talking about, Grandpa? Snap out of it! And Hermit looks up at him. Ziggy, what happened to you? And Rebecca asks, rule humankind? What? You gonna start a war between bots and humans? But we live together in peace. And Happy looks up at the ship. That ship! And Rebecca sees the Eden's One. Eden's One? Rebecca, of course, is the only one who really knows what that means. As Hermit responds, I've never heard of any Eden's One. And Ziggy is kind of ignoring everyone else. Pino, you were created to follow my orders. You cannot defy me. And Pino's kind of like frozen. But she takes a shaking step towards Ziggy. Pino! Master, And Ziggy cuts her off. Come. I will tell you the reason you were born. Obey your program. You have no will of your own. That's kind of hypocritical coming from the robots must rule over all guy. But you know, Pino like freezes in shock. I am E.M. Pino, transferring command rights to Master Ziggy. Oh boy. Pino! No. Now rebooting systems. Starting deletion of unnecessary personnel files. Okay, I'm still skeptical as to how real this all is, but they're definitely playing it up. No, Pino, this is a Hermit. Stop! If you do that, you'll forget all about us! Fight it, Pino, is Happy. Rebecca questions, what is happening? Maybe this is all just another act? And Shiki with like tears in his eyes. Yeah, Grandpa was asleep a long time. He wouldn't know about the guy's plan. And Ziggy raises up his arm to the side, and the ground all around everyone starts to shake and rumble. The buildings start to collapse, trees snap, the ground cracks in two, everything kind of collapses in on itself. And we see all of the robot bodies start to like fall into a crack. Shiki calls out, guys! And Rebecca also falls. Rebecca! And Shiki runs after her, and he grabs her right as Rebecca grabs onto Happy's paw. Happy! And they all three of them hit the ground. Hermit is also managing. Wise in his Arsenal suit has grabbed Homura. I don't know if Homura Wise the ship, but there's an image for y'all, if y'all exist. And so Shiki and Rebecca kind of like skid on the ground a little while. And Shiki like leans over, he's like on top of Rebecca. There's another shipping moment if you want it. Are you okay? Yeah, thanks. Then Shiki and Rebecca look up at the hill that Ziggy had formed earlier. Pino! And Pino doesn't even acknowledge him, completely blank-faced. And Shiki kind of grits his teeth. And Shiki yells out, who do you want to go with? What do you want to do? Figure it out yourself. Make up your own mind. You have a heart. You have the power to decide for yourself. And everyone else on the team all watches Shiki as he, pours his heart out to Pino. Don't give in. Think of the life you want to lead. And we see Pino starts to tear up. Her eyes go from black, kind of faded. Because of the black and white, I don't know what color it's supposed to be. And Pino's, like, the tears fall all of a sudden. I want to go with you, Master. I want to be human. And Shiki smiles as Ziggy responds, I see. And Ziggy floats up into the air towards the Eden's One. Then stay here and rot with your humans. And Hermit yells out, Ziggy! Hermit, I no longer need you or the 4 shining stars. And Hermit just glares at him. Be gone. And he enters the Eden's One. The ground starts to rumble. The Eden's One takes off. And the Eden Zero then all of a sudden appears where the crew is. Eden Zero, on which calls out, Great Demon King, get on board. We must make our mistake. And a sister gets onto her, hey, don't call him that now. It's confusing. Most confusing. And the 3 of them, I guess they get on board. And the ship takes off, and it meets the Eden's One in orbit over Granbell. And Sister yells at Hermit, what in the actual hell happened? That's what I want to know. And Witch thinks to herself, the previous king. Lord Ziggy wants to rule humankind? And Witch snaps it at Hermit, but how is he even alive? How should I know? Homer just gives Pino a big ol' hug. Pino, I am so relieved. I'm sorry to have worried you. And Rebecca looks over at Shiki. Shiki. And Shiki just silently, I guess, stares out the window. And Witch asks, what is this Eden's One? And just then, a viewport, a little screen appears over on the window. And everyone reacts to it in shock. And Captain Connor appears for his first encounter with them in World 30. Attention crew and 4 shining stars of the Eden Zero. This is the Eden's One. And of course Rebecca knows who he is. And she flashes back to her encounters with Connor. Captain Connor? What is he doing on the Eden's One? Shouldn't Rebecca know that he's the captain of Eden's One? She should know that, right? If Eden's One exists, then that's where Connor would be. And Ziggy appears behind him. The Zero is merely a prototype for the One. Now with the One awakened, Zero shall cease to exist. Prototype? And Sister snaps at him. Damn it, Ziggy, what is wrong with you? We have one goal. To rule humanity and any bot that chooses to join them. I now introduce the Demon King's 4 Dark Stars. Alright, okay. We have one who's like this big hulking man with an axe. One's this kind of, it looks like his arms are made of like tree roots. And he's kind of hulked over like animalistically. One's like a long-haired pretty boy with a staff. And the other is this like clown motherfucker. The next, more advanced generation of the 4 shining stars. So yeah, that's just like more villains to deal, because they already have 5 more members of the Erasion Galactica. And now we have these guys. Like, there was a second there where I thought he was going to reveal that the other 5 members of the Galactica were working for him. But no, it's just the new shining stars. And Witch, Hermit, and Sister all like take that in. And Shiki glares at him. Grandpa, didn't you teach me the value of friendship? Shiki, my boy, I leave you the blessing of dying with your friends. And that's how the chapter ends. So yeah, looking more and more like Ziggy is actually evil, like it's not an act. And yeah, it's a little cliched, but I do think it is better than just like repeating the same plot line from chapter 1, where he's faking it again so that Shiki can grow. But also does mean there are still a lot of questions around how exactly Ziggy, while dead, became convinced that he has to rule humanity. There are answers that need to be found there, and I'm hoping we get them, honestly, sooner rather than later, though I can kind of see, like, Ziggy leaving, and we just kind of are left with the questions for a long time. I don't know. But yeah, this Granbell arc very much is a new phase of the story. Like I kind of was suggesting back in 100, with, you know, the reveal of Ziggy, the return of the Eden's One, the kind of, I don't know if we're gonna, like, how, I'm still trying to piece out how the Galactica is going to fit into all this. Because it seems to me like we have, you know, we're being set up with Ziggy, the Dark Stars, Connor, all of that shit. And then there's also the other 5 members of the Galactica over here, which, I don't know. I don't really know what the deal with that is, how that's going to be addressed. I'm kind of curious to see. I don't know. Anyway, the chapter itself, it's pretty serviceable. We don't get a lot. Like, there isn't this big. Pino's big moment is. I'm trying to find the right words for this. It's definitely not bad. It's good. It's perfectly good. But it's just kind of there. Like, I don't know. We don't have any big revelations about who Pino is. It kind of feels like the whole will Pino go with Ziggy is just kind of there to, like, kill time. He wants to, like, Mashima wanted the chapter to end with the Dark Star reveal, and now he didn't really know what to do to get there. So he just kind of threw in this, like, really quickly resolved, what do you want, Pino? And, like, admittedly, it's not something where it's like it was really obvious Pino would stay with them. Because I didn't know. Until she turned, like, I could have seen it, before we saw the tears form. I could have seen it going, Pino leaves anyway. But if they're not going to go that route, I don't know why it was here. We didn't really learn anything new. It didn't accomplish anything. It's just kind of, several pages, just kind of wasting space. Which, I mean, it's fair. It's a very transitory arc as we move into the established universe of the initial Sakura Cosmos saga, and now lead into whatever comes next. There's some, you can feel the gears turning. Mashima wants to end chapters on certain notes, and so he'll throw whatever he needs in there to make that happen. Which is very much what the Pino scene feels like, as I've said. But now it looks like, I can't quite tell if he's saying that he's going to just blow the Eden Zero up right now, or if it's like, y'all are gonna die eventually. I think, because, like, I don't know, this feels so much like a big bad reveal, that if he tries to destroy the Eden Zero right now, I feel like they'll fight back, and that'll be, like, the arc. And, I don't know, I can't see... I feel like they're going to run away. That's my best guess. Just because having Ziggy as an arc villain is really weird. I'm not entirely sure my thoughts are lining up properly for a viewer who is not in my head. But anyway, Ziggy is definitely evil. I'm going to say now. I don't think he's faking. I don't think it's like a Robots of Grand Belt thing. But we don't know why, and I imagine we won't find out why for a very, very long time. So yeah, but I don't have anything to say until we know why, or until something else happens. So I'm going to leave this video off here. Hope you all enjoyed the chapter and the video itself. If you did, feel free to drop me a like, or subscribe, or, do whatever makes you happy, And remember, your life is your own, okay? Bye!